Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in to talk about One Piece chapter 998. Ooh, two more chapters. Man, I am so sure chapter 1000 is going to be Luffy punching Kaido. I am so sure. Anyway, hey everyone. I'm very excited about this chapter. I think this was a fun chapter. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a little bit late when I'm recording this, so we're going to go through it page by page. Well, I have my notes, and I'm just going to mention which are the relevant pages for the notes. Just to structure the video a little bit. But overall, I'm excited, and there's so many spots I really want to talk about, but they're towards the end of the chapter. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk a bit about Frankie and Sanji probably the most, because, you know, if we're talking about my favorite Star Hats, it's Brook, Sanji, and then probably Frankie, and then, you know, Luffy's fourth, unfortunately. It's because the other, you know how it is, like, you end up liking other characters. Also, the thing with Luffy's, like, always gonna get screen time, you know. I root for the guys that don't get screen time, or don't get it as much, right? Like, that's how it is. Anyway, yes. So, let's get into it. The first thing I want to note, the NL cover, I really enjoyed that. That was great. You know, it's been a while since we've seen the guy. I do hope he shows up one day. But I enjoyed that. That was a good one. Next note was on page 1 and 2. So what happened on these pages, Marco lights Chopper up. And then at the first panel of page 2, I didn't notice this in my first read through, but Zoro and Brook both attacked Marco. So this one I actually end up feeling a little bit weird about. Well, first, I think the intended meaning is that, hey, look, Zoro and Brook care enough about Chopper that they would attack Marco. I think that's the first big thing to take away from that, right? I mean, Marco just lit Chopper up, right? He's going to cook the Tanuki. But I do wonder... This is kind of a little bit of a tense situation. My thought would be, knowing that Marco is coming in specifically to ally you, and knowing that Marco has such a weird power, would the attack actually make sense? Is that attack maybe a little bit too hot-blooded, right? Marco does avoid it, but Marco avoiding an attack doesn't justify the thought process here, right? I don't know. See, the thing is, like, both interpretations would have had a merit. This this action that Oda had here, the merit is they care about Chopper enough to strike down Marco. If they hadn't if they hadn't attacked Marco and instead watched on, it would have said that, hey, they believed in Marco given that this was one of their allies, right? In any other series, that could have led to a potential issue, and that would have been an issue of striking before getting the full picture, which I think Marco does legitimately deserve the full picture, all things considered. Actually, let me just very quickly look at the previous chapter just to see if Marco had already helped Zoro. Okay, in the previous chapter, Marco only offered help. It's a little bit of a tough situation, right? Like, that's the only iffy part, just with the way the characterization worked out. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, both alternatives have value in it. It's just I'm a little bit concerned about the hot-blooded nature. I mean, on the other side, you say, well, man, they're like in the middle of a fight, and they just got freaked out when they saw Chopper being lit alive, right? And it's like, yeah, no, I get it, but I really feel that the faith in Marco, I don't know, as you know what, this is probably like the reader's bias. As a reader, it's like, Marco's a nice guy. So that is unfortunate. Thankfully, that was solved very quickly. At the end of the day, no matter how you look at it, Brook and Zoro, they have the egg on their face because they were a little bit too hasty there, right? At the end of the day, they're the ones in the wrong here. Oda didn't dwell on it, but I think I would have also enjoyed seeing them realize the error. Moving on beyond Miyagi and Tristan being there, I thought that was pretty cool that they were there, and it's pretty nice that they had not gone into Sulong to, you know, get wiped out here. But it was cool to see them. But moving on, my next page I was wanting to look at was the passive flame. So this was actually like a really neat power, that being a flame that draws out people's body heat. Really neat power, and I like that people got their senses back with the flame. I was kind of concerned that maybe they would still be in that like mindless state, but this was really neat, a really convenient power to say the least. Any other thing I wanted to say for that particular page? No, it was just really cool to see the one Yakuza boss come back to his senses, because that was one of those like little emotional hooks that was going on in the previous chapters. But yeah, no, it was actually pretty cool to see how everyone came together to make this thing work for Chopper. Which moves me on to the next moment of people making things work for Chopper, that being the page where Drake attacks Apu. So there were a lot of things going on here. First, I like that Marco seems to be taking Zoro, Robin, and Brook, because Brook got answered that the Yakuza are going to help Chopper, right? I am very excited at the prospect of Brook going up there in front of Big Mom. I am very excited for that. I hope he gets to the top of the floor. I want to see like 9 Straw Hats up there or something. Give me another variation of the 9 Scabbards or whatever. But I'm thinking here, if Brook goes up there, you know, I would love to see Brook playing interference with Big Mom again. And I think if Marco goes up there, I would love to see maybe some team play between Marco, Robin, and Brook. I think that would be pretty cool. Marco can already go up against Big Mom, right? So he could probably, you know, well, he could probably put Big Mom in check. And this is also like, I'm putting an asterisk there, assuming Big Mom and Kaido are still working together, right? They still have to be like this. But if it comes down to it, I would love to see Marco be the main offense person against Big Mom. And I think it'd be cool to have Robin and Brook both being in there. Brook can also harm Big Mom's soul projection or soul objects, right? That's why I think him being up there would be pretty cool. You have 2 people that can actually influence Big Mom in a weird way with their powers. I would love to see them there. Robin's already offended Big Mom. She rolled her away. So I would love to see just the repeat of that. I think this... it's exciting. Oda can only let me down at this point. That's how exciting this is. We'll have to see what he's gonna do. But I do hope we get up there. It's just funny because last chapter we were talking about getting up to the top of the roof, and now we're still here at a point of, hey, I can take you to the roof and all that. Now, anyway, the rest of that page was just Chopper, and then we had Drake saying he's gonna stay down. This is where we started seeing the gimmick for the chapter, that being all the different devil fruits, or sorry, all the different dinosaurs that were going to be evolved. And then we had Drake with the Allosaurus. So I just want to say very quickly, given the variety of dinosaurs that we're seeing here, there's like over 700 species of named dinosaurs. And I think Oda, this is just kind of funny because Oda realistically could put them all in there. This is kind of like, you know, there's different different varieties of robins, right? I'm wondering to what degree... I'm wondering to what degree of variety Oda's going to include here for his dinosaurs. That said, it's probably not going to be that bad. It's just kind of funny because if we're looking at the dinosaurs, there's a lot of them. There's quite a lot. I'm surprised there aren't more ancient Zoans running around, honestly, when we have so many different kinds already popping up here in one location. Now, the other thing of note here is that Apu, of course, got back up. Well, he's a supernova. He's a captain. It's good that he was able to get back up, and it's good that Drake was able to take him down, really get his respect for that one. We move on to the next page, and this was the page where Jinbei was making a note about Sanji. So I definitely want to talk about the fact that Jinbei's saying that Sanji sensed a strong enemy, and Luffy saying that he still needs to work on his observation haki. Yes, you know, like asterisk again. Luffy definitely needs to work on his observation haki. I think everyone could serve to probably work on their observation haki more. But I do think at the end of the day, we all know why Sanji noticed. It's because Sanji's observation haki is specifically tuned to women. And this is just a happy little winky dink. But, you know, it is kind of cool that Sanji has such an overly sensitive sense to women. That is pretty neat. Just because it's a cool note to put in for how his observation haki works, right? And seeing that Luffy respects it, even though he doesn't know how it fully works, right? I like that. I legitimately like that. At the end of the day, Sanji noticed a person specifically because she was a woman, and that is very worthwhile. I'm all for it. Moving on that page, one more thing I want to say is that when we got into the area for Who's Who, I like that the area is pretty much just a bunch of scratch posts for cats. Actually, really neat that Kaido installed all these scratch posts. It definitely makes the area seem cooler. I am kind of concerned about Jinbei later on staying in this area because there's so many people around them. But this is cool. This was really cool. And now after that, we moved into the Frankie combat. We're seeing some of the combat here. Now, Sasaki tells everyone to move aside. With that, I want to hope that the people who are getting lined up for fights right now, I do want to hope that they're gonna be one-on-ones more or less. I do hope no one else interferes with these fights because I am excited. Which leads me to like the big thing, like what I am the most excited about. Frankie facing down a Triceratops. Awesome. A robot versus a dinosaur. I don't know. Some part of me is just kind of celebrating. I'm bursting out the confetti inside of my heart. I'm into it. I'm so into it. If there's one Straw Hat outside of the main three or the power trio, the monster trio, that's gotten a lot of respect. If people watch me, well, you know, Eden's commenter, you know how much I like Frankie. I feel Frankie has gotten the most respect out of everyone that's not the monster trio, because if you think about it, Frankie had a really good showing in Punk Hazard, took out two of Doflamingo's family before we knew they were weaklings, took out, you know, Baby 5 and Buffalo, and then he also countered Caesar's gas with his internal, I don't know, AC system in there. So, you know, Punk Hazard, Frankie came out of that thing looking really good. Then you went into Dressrosa, and in Dressrosa, Frankie didn't even use all of his tools. He ultimately had a hard-boiled fight with Senor Pink, and then he unfortunately had to skip out on Big Mom's arc. But then you had Frankie in this arc coming in strong with riding a motorbike onto Big Mom's face, right? Frankie gets a lot. He gets a lot. And honestly, as a Frankie fan, I'm very happy that he gets a lot. I am so happy that it looks like he's getting a one-on-one. If it could take one chapter, man, Oda, I'd be okay even with a half chapter. Please, just don't make this off screen, okay, man? Just show us Frankie being cool. I would love to see it. Come on, this is gonna be awesome. Give us more Frankie. Oda likes Frankie. Did you see this in your Pink fight? It was so hard boiled, man. It was so manly. Please give Frankie a fight here. This is gonna be great. Oh, I'm so excited. And it's so exciting that when you look at the matchups initially, you know, you have Jinbei going up against one of the Flying Six, and then you have Frankie also going up against one of the Flying Six, and you have Sanji surrounded with, well, in front of a Flying Six and surrounded by many other people who seem like they all want to jump his bones. It's like Frankie's up there, man. Frankie's up there. I'm so excited. But I had to make a little again, that one has another asterisk attached to it because of someone else, or because of ulti at the end of the chapter, and I'll talk more about that. After that, we move into our situation with Sanji, right? And with Sanji, here's where we start talking about some interesting things. If we're looking at the ancient Zoans by themselves, definitely, I am confused as to what is going on here. I do feel that a good chunk of these people, I feel that, I'm pretty sure when it comes to the Flying Six, they have given their crew smiles. It's just kind of hard to tell which ones are which, because like when you look at Black Maria's stuff here, there's just so much. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Let's begin with the easiest ones, those being the people on the side. Okay, so I feel like a good chunk of her crew is yokai, just yokai inspiration. Like, look at this wet lady right here. She seems like she's some kind of Japanese reference. Why is she so sweaty? I don't know. And then you have the snake girls. They have long necks, and I'm thinking, is this just a long neck? Have we seen a long neck before? Maybe this is a Wano long neck, or this is just, she has snake. She has a. Actually, you know what? Let me just very quickly look at the One Piece wiki to make sure I'm not forgetting this. Because I think we have seen the snake necks or the long necks, and I think it's Big Mom's kids. Let me just very quickly see. Snake necks. Sorry, snake necks. Okay, so we have seen the snake necks. The first ones we saw were Big Mom's kids. So I'm looking at this situation here with the snake neck girl. She has the the attributes of a snake. And honestly, when we're looking at all the varieties of dinosaur coming out here, all Oda has to say is that these people all have different varieties of the snake fruit. But then you have the other girl next to her, and I don't even know what's going on with that girl. She has a snake neck as well. Then you have this other girl on the side, and it looks like she's smile. It's hard. Everyone that's smiling might just be a smile user that got screwed over. This girl with the two teeth, she looks like a Kurozumi, whatever Shogun guy is, right? Because it's his teeth. Those are the teeth of his family, which is also interesting. There's just so much interesting things going on in this one shot. Now, of course, the most interesting one is Black Maria, because she's an ancient spider, and I feel like this is the first time that we've ever seen the face of the Zoan also on the body of the user, right? Like, I want to know how are you guys interpreting this situation? Because, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but in terms of the actual real Zoans, we've never seen two faces on one, unless it's like something mythical like Cerberus, but we haven't seen Cerberus. So I'm confused, and the way that Black Maria's stuff is presented here, I don't fully understand what's happening here. She might be riding on a pet spider. It's just kind of odd the way that she's stuck to the body. I don't really understand what I'm I think okay, the two alternatives: she's riding on a spider and she also has the spider devil fruit, or the spider is part of her body. And then in that case, this is the first time we've ever seen this mechanism, and in that case, that kind of tomfoolery feels like that might be an awakened Zoan, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what I'm seeing here. I would definitely like your input though if you have any ideas about what's going on. It's just like, I don't, would the if it's an awakened Zoan, I can probably try and figure out the reasoning as to why the spider has a different personality than what Black Maria is doing. But it might just be a pet that she's riding on with spider legs. It's just so hard to tell. It's also wearing the little skull, so I don't think she would be able to wear that naturally. Where did those little skull designs come from? It's just so tricky. It's so tricky, it's hard to see. Anyway, the big thing here is that Sanji's surrounded by multiple women. And this leads me to my big thing. You know, Sanji's saying that this is heaven for him. What I'm wondering, what I think would be cool, if Sanji was to develop Conqueror's Haki that only targets women, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be okay with that. I'd honestly be okay with that. If Oda wants to say that Sanji can never unlock proper Conqueror's Haki, I'd be okay with him just affecting women. That would be amazingly hilarious. But yeah, no, Black Maria, she has a lot of things going on her page that make me very curious. Also, when Sanji is looking at the more not attractive women, the more, alternative women here, I like that he's not calling them ugly. I'm actually pretty happy. Maybe his times on Kamabaka Island, maybe that made him just appreciate women more, and I think that's really good. I think that's a good step. Anyway, after that we go into the Jinbei setup page, and of course, going into this one, this is what the page that really tells me that some people were eating smiles, because we see weird stuff going on here. And again, I'm gonna say the only reason I'm assuming that Black Maria is not a smile user is because it specifically says Ancient Zoan. But when you go to Who's, so clearly Who's has a cat theme. I'm not sure if you could have told because of all the things going on here. But we have some interesting visuals on this side that not really sure what to make of, right? So, story-wise, you have Jinbei really being proud of being a Straw Hat, which was really good. And then we have Who's talking about a glimpse of Jinbei, so they have a little bit of history. This seems like this could be some pretty cool battle rhetoric. I would love to see it. But let's talk about Who's crew here. So first off, a lot of cats. There's a random tiger. There's like 2 cat burglar type ladies here. Look at this lion here. Pretty odd. If you look at him, he has 4 arms. So this kind of abomination, that's Well, that's a Smile user without a doubt. But then you have this Jaguar guy over on this side. It might be a Zoan hybrid, or actually he might be a Hyena. It's kind of hard to tell here. He might be a Zoan hybrid, or he might be a Mink. And then you have this guy. This is the guy that really tells us, or might suggest to us, that this is a Smile user because of the smile. That's my first guess, is a Smile user. And then you have an old lady next to the lion, which was interesting. Anyway, it's a saber-toothed tiger. I love that. I'm 100% in. I want to see more. And finally, on the last page brings up Ace. Guys, you know, I'm not the biggest Ace fan in the world. I don't really, well, Ace's legacy is always interesting. It's just interesting to see how prolific Ace was before he died. I like the image of the dragon being punched in. I think it's really funny. But yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting how much Ace has done, and it's just interesting to think about where we first met Ace. Anyway, talking about Ulti here, the baboon got taken down, and Ulti wants to crack Nami's head in half. Now that does sound to me like that is set up for another rematch here with Ulti and Nami, and I do think that if Usopp and Nami get enough time to prepare, I think they could win. But for Nami and Usopp, they are the characters that if they get a fight here, I legitimately wouldn't mind them getting a lot of help, especially if Otama's there to help them. I wouldn't mind them getting help because really they need it. They're the ones that I can't justify easily beating, well, a bunch of captains or a bunch of former captains of pirate crews. And they're also ancient zones. Like for Frankie has technology that the pacifistas have. Frankie is a genius. He has the gear. If there's one thing that we know about Frankie, he has utility. Sanji's monster trio, so it's fine for him to take on a captain. Jinbei is Jinbei, so again, another person who can just take on whoever he wants. Yeah, no, I guess I hope that we don't start with the Nami Usopp fight. I would rather get all the other ones done before we go Nami Usopp. But it looks like when you look at the way that Oda fades out on Yamato, it does seem like we're getting a flashback next week, because the panels start fading towards black, and that's black is flashback panel or flashback page. So we'll have to see. Overall, yeah, this is exciting. This is so exciting. I'm so excited for these matchups. I hope they don't get screwed over. I hope none of them get off-screened, except for Usopp and Nami. I don't mind if those get off-screen, and clearly Oda doesn't either. So I'm hoping for that. I also think one of the pages looked a little bit undone. I'm just looking again. I think one of the pages was left undone, and it was the page where Frankie fell over in General Frankie. It doesn't have the same kind of toning, and I think I can see a few more sketch marks here. But you can never really tell. One Piece is always so chaotic, right? Any hoosers, guys, let me know what you thought down below, and till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.